Good morning, everybody. Welcome into another episode of the Highline Podcast. I'm, of course, Jason Mass, where we talk NASCAR here on this. We'll recap last week's race, and of course, we'll look forward to this upcoming race there at the Richmond Raceway Toyota Owners 400. And of course, we'll give you our picks for the chance to win $10,000 on the NBC Sports Predictor app and another $10,000 over on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. You notice I'm doing this one live because I'm rolling solo. No William Blackwell, unfortunately, with me. He's a little tied up this week, but I decided to jump on live. I thought maybe we would have some good interaction with you guys, throughout this entire show. So comment section is open. If you guys want to say anything about, last week's Echo Park Grand Prix down there at the Circuit of Americas, or if you got anything you want to say about this race this coming weekend down at the Richmond Raceway, go ahead and let your thoughts be known, and we'll have some nice little fun back and forth here throughout the next 20 minutes or so. With that being said, let's go ahead and kick it off. And of course, we always look back at the previous week where we were at the Circuit of Americas, the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix. Ross Chastain was your race winner right there. And how about Trackhouse Racing overall? Just to see their emotions, the pit crew and Justin Marks and their reaction, that was absolutely remarkable. I loved it for that organization, for them to get their first win. Chastain getting his first win. It was just really cool. And Trackhouse Racing, guys, is absolutely on fire. And we talked about here a couple of weeks ago how Ross Chastain is just leading tons of laps. He's in the top 3 in laps led so far earlier on this season. Well, it's not only him. Look at what Daniel Suarez did in stage 1. My man led all 15 laps. Blaney gave him a little bit of a fight there on the first couple laps, and afterwards Suarez got out there, and Blaney chipped away a little bit there in the last couple laps of stage 1, but large in part, Daniel Suarez he did more than held him off. He kind of just was able to keep that nice distance there between him and Ryan Blaney. So, yeah, Trackhouse is absolutely on fire. I love it for the organization. Happy for them. So, glad to see them get their organization, get their first win. Stage 3 was really marred by cautions. Boy, it seemed like earlier in the race, and that race certainly dragged on. What was it, 68 laps? They could trim that back to 60 or 55. It kind of got to be a little bit of a snooze fest there. And then you had a bunch of cautions in stage 3, which it was kind of annoying, but then quite frankly, the restarts were absolutely electric. I mean, so much excitement, with guys trying to jockey for position and going through the turns. So, a lot of cautions, but boy, were those restarts just absolutely amazing. And including that last lap. I mean, how awesome was that? Allmendinger up there, Chastain up there, Bowman getting up there, just fantastic. And obviously, coming around the last turn before they come up the hill and come across the finish line right there was just absolutely dramatic. I mean, 3 cars pushing. I don't fault anybody. That's just good racing. And you're able to get that from this next-gen car. I mean, I don't believe you get that style of racing in the previous car. This next-gen car is really durable. Credit NASCAR. They've toughened it up. You can get some side-by-side contact and, not get a cut tire and what have you. And, yeah, that last lap, that last turn was just absolutely dramatic. You didn't know when they were coming down there, you didn't know which of those 3 cars was going to come out of there alive. You had no idea. Unfortunately for Allmendinger, he was the one that, got spun out, and, Chastain obviously then pulls away, and he takes a checkered flag with Bowman then coming around a little bit behind him. So, boy, what an exciting last couple laps right there. Good little dramatic fashion, and it really just continues, this youth movement we're seeing in NASCAR this season with this next-gen car. And I think maybe William, said it good last week. Maybe it's because of this, all these young kids, they drive these dirt tracks during the week, and they're just being able to adapt better to the next-gen car, which all the drivers have admitted, it's harder to drive, it's harder to handle. So, yeah, maybe that's why these young kids have an upper leg, but absolutely love to see it. Guys getting their first win, a Chastain, a Briscoe. It's just really cool, to see that so far earlier on this season. So, I thought, what did I think about COTA? Like I said, I thought it was boring. At times, I think the race is a touch too long. I think they can go ahead and trim that back, and I don't think the fans will miss anything. I think it'll only just keep them more engaged and entertained throughout that entire race. And of course, like I said, just a absolute, dramatic last lap right there. It was that was certainly cool. You guys remember on last week's show, I gave you guys 2 bets on that race right there. Well, we went 1-1. Chastain obviously beat Tyler Reddick. He was the race winner, so he beat everybody. The one loss we had was Allmendinger, plus 4.5 spots against Chase Elliott. What a brutal beat right there. Just, he was one of those 3 cars on that last turn, and unfortunately he was the one that was, went off the track, and I don't know if he finished probably back in the 20s. If I had to take a guess, I don't quite recall, but boy, if that's a clean turn, and Chastain holds off Reddick, we go ahead and go 2-0, but lose a little bit right there just because of the juice. But I'm going to go ahead and give you guys two more. So at the end of this one, I'll go ahead and give you guys two more NASCAR head-to-head bets for this upcoming race there at Richmond Raceway. Speaking of Richmond Raceway, let's just go ahead and turn our attention to it. I've mentioned it before on last season's episode. This is my hometown track. Been to it a couple times. It's a short track, obviously, short, flat track. If you want to look at any comps, obviously Phoenix is a good one. You can also look at a New Hampshire. They're both kind of short, flat tracks right there. So I think those are good comps to look at. What are we going to expect here at Richmond? Well, we know in the past we get really long runs at Richmond. I mean, this track at Richmond can have some snooze fests because you can just get some really long green flag runs. And if there's a guy that, sets it up, you've seen it in the past years. You've seen a Keselowski, you've seen a Martin Truex. You've seen these guys that because there's long green runs, that if their setup's right, it's over. I mean, you just don't get the cautions to rebutch them up. So that'll be the interesting thing to see is, do we get a lot of long green runs, or are we going to get kind of what we see at this next-gen car, and mainly speaking with these tire issues and spinning issues? Because that could keep this race a little bit more entertaining than I think what it's been in years past, is if we get some cautions and we get to tighten these cars up, and obviously restarts are obviously dramatic at really any racetrack. The dramatic start. So I'll be looking for that. Is, do we still get a lot of long green runs, or do we expect some cautions? I don't see why we would get a lot of long green runs. I think there would be some cautions, right? I mean, that's what we've been seeing with this next gen car. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how that unfolds here this weekend at the Richmond Raceway. One thing would be interesting to note is, can the Toyotas kind of keep their dominance here at this racetrack? Boy, if the Toyotas don't have a good weekend, I think you've really got to worry. You're already starting to worry a little bit there with Denny Hamlin, and obviously not as strong as last season. Bubba Wallace is off to a terrible start. Martin Truex isn't having the greatest of all starts. Kyle Busch is what I would say Kyle Busch is generally speaking is. He's kind of a little bit of a hit or miss, drivers. But Toyotas generally have fared really well here at Richmond Raceway. In the two races in 2021, in the fall race, all the top three cars were all Toyota. In the spring race, 3 of the top 5 cars were all Toyotas. In 2019, the top 3 cars were all Toyotas. So Toyotas will, generally speaking, run up towards the front here at Richmond Raceway. So that'll be something to keep an eye on, is will Toyota camp, have a good weekend? And again, if they don't have a good weekend, may start to worry a little bit of what's going on with those Toyotas. So, and if you're looking at Toyota, I would say Martin Truex Jr. Kyle Busch is too up and down for me. I would say Martin Truex Jr. If you want to focus on a Toyota, I just think Martin Truex Jr. has been probably maybe the most consistent. But he's been really dominant here at Richmond at times, claiming a couple of victories here over the last couple of seasons. He's just been flat out dominant at times. So keep your eye on Martin Truex Jr. He's definitely one to keep an eye on. I got some other drivers I think you should also keep an eye on. What about Austin Dillon? RCRs, generally speaking, this is one of their better racetracks here at RCR. So I'll be watching Austin Dillon. He's got the 10th best average finish here. And yeah, just kind of RCR is, just kind of really strong. And then keep an eye on his teammate, Tyler Reddick. He's having a strong season. He's one of those guys that is in the top there of terms of laps led so far on this season. He's got the 13th best average finish at Richmond. And again, RCR is just strong at Richmond. It's one of their better tracks on the circuit. So that's kind of the things I'll be looking for here. The Toyotas Owners 400, are we going to get long runs, or will the caution trend kind of, continue? And what we're going to do with the Toyota camp. I'm really curious about Toyotas. I'll be nervous if the Toyotas can't put together, a good solid weekend. I would be nervous if you're, one of the, obviously the fans of 2311 or, in the Joe Gibbs camp right there. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. All right, let's go ahead and jump into now. We'll give you guys my picks. Let's go ahead and first start with that NBC Sports Predictor app where you can win $10,000. They, of course, ask you all 3 stages. You got to pick the driver to finish best amongst the other guys. And then you also, of course, got to give them a top 3. All season long, I'm giving away $25. If you're in the winning bets league, and at the end of each race, if you have the most points, you can take home $25. But last week was actually worth $50 because we had a tie a couple weeks back. So let's see if anybody was able to claim my $50. Yes, there is. We had a winner. What a week to go ahead and win, as again, you won $50 instead of $25. It was Blessing with 60 points. A really, really nice entry by them. So they've already hit me up on Twitter, and they've already got their $50. So we'll go ahead and save that spiel. If you're not in that group, it's simple. Just join the group, have the most points, and you can win $25 each and every single week. So get on up in there and compete against your fellow winning bet supporters. With that being said, let me go ahead and throw up Williams' picks. Again, he's not here, but he certainly did give me his picks ahead of time. He went a little different strategy. It'll be interesting if you guys follow us. We always have some differences, but this week we're really different. You can see here in Williams, I mean, he's got Byron, Busch, Logano, Busch, Larson. He went kind of the old route, which is not what we're seeing this season, right? We're seeing the young guns kind of really emerge this season and kind of lead the way. That's not what Williams got near his entry. He's going back to some of the big dogs there. Logano, if you go up and look at his track record at Richmond, yeah, he's certainly been good. I mean, Kyle Busch he's got good numbers at every single track. I understand why he's got him. And of course, yeah, I mean, Kyle Larson, not having a great season by his standards, but he's still Kyle Larson, so can't be mad right there. All right, let me go ahead and throw up my picks right here. I went ahead and did Chase Briscoe in stage 1. Guy's just been good. He continues to run good. You look at who he's pit up in here. So in this group, you get Briscoe, Byron, Suarez, or Wallace. I had it between Briscoe and Suarez. I mean, again, Trackhouse Racing has just been absolutely incredible. I mean, wow, they've probably been one of the MVP teams of the season. I mean, they've been really, really good. Do not pick Bubba Wallace. Whatever you do not pick Bubba Wallace. He is A, having a terrible season, and B, he lost his crew chief. Now, it was obviously earlier in the week, so there's time for them to, get over the hump of having a new crew chief. But when you've having a bad season and now you've lost your crew chief for 2 races, go ahead and stay away from Bubba Wallace. But for me, it was Chase Briscoe. I mentioned how Phoenix was a comp for Richmond. He was obviously the winner at Phoenix, so I think he'll have a nice solid weekend here. And I think he'll be competing for that checkered flag, certainly a top 3. I think Briscoe's going to have a nice weekend, so I'll go ahead and go with Chase Briscoe in stage 1. For stage 2, you got to pick between Blaney, Kyle Busch, Elliott, and Larson. I went with Chase Elliott, and I had it between him and Kyle Larson, but quite frankly, he's got the better numbers here at Richmond. He's got a better average finish at 11.71. His driver rating is 110.9. So we see that with guys with really high driver ratings that, his average finish is 11.71. Well, sometimes you'll be running really good and you cause an accident or you blow your engine or, you have some sort of other kind of mechanical issue. This guy at 110.9 tells me that he's been driving better than some of his results here at Richmond. So I'll go ahead and take Chase Elliott here at stage 2. And then at stage 3, you had to pick between Bowman, Chastain, Logano, and Truex. Tough one right here. I'm going to go and just take Chastain and ride the momentum. I mean, the guy's on fire. He finally got his win. I think a win that he absolutely deserved with what they've been doing this season. Again, mentioned it. He's been up there all season long, running in the top. I mean, he's just been really impressive. So, kind of a no-brainer pick from me right there. Just go on Chastain and ride the hot hand. So that's what I've got in those stages. How about my top 3? Yeah, I told you we had a lot different than what William had. I got Tyler Reddick winning this race, baby. Tyler Reddick, RCR loves this racetrack. Of the RCR guys, Tyler Reddick's by far been better. I mean, what was that race? Was it Fontana where he was kicking everybody's butt and he just blew a tire and really just ruined his day? I think it was Fontana, if I recall correctly. But either way, I mean, the guy's been running at the top almost each and every single week. It was there last week again at the Circuit of America. So like that, and I think Ross Chastain will be right behind him. Again, just going to ride their momentum there with Ross Chastain and give me his teammate Daniel Suarez right behind him. He's been strong. He kind of likes this racetrack. He had a top 10 finish here last season. So performed good team, obviously. Yeah, Mojo at Trackhouse Racing. It's easy to get behind Trackhouse Racing right now. Again, I think they've been one of the better teams. So that'll be Williams' picks, and that'll be my picks. So let's move over now to the Fox Bet Super 6. I'm going to pull up my phone here for a second. I've got the questions written down, but I kind of want to, each time I go through the questions, spout off what we're picking between. So give me half a second. My phone fell asleep here for a second. All right, so here's question 1. We've got where's the pole sitter going to sit at the end of stage 2? I'm going to go ahead and say 4th. And again, I'm giving you guys my picks ahead of time, but A, we don't even know who's on the pole, and B, we haven't even watched stage 1, right? We know we can modify these answers at the end of stage 1. I've been generally doing it with about 5 to go just because I get nervous. So But go ahead and give me fourth there for the pole sitter. Question 2 is, which of these drivers will had the fastest lap at the end of stage 2? Last week was the first week that not only did I tweet any modifies, but as stage 1 went on, as I was watching it, I kind of tweeted like, okay, this driver's got the fastest lap. Okay, now this driver does, and kind of did something like that. So maybe I'll do something similar. It's easy to track, this question there on the NASCAR app. I'm going to go ahead and go with fastest. I'm going to go with Martin Truex Jr. Guy just absolutely loves this racetrack. Mentioned how he's absolutely dominant in years past. If there's a race where he can step up, obviously it's a track here the Toyotas dominate, and he's also dominated. So I'll go ahead and go with Martin Truex Jr. there for number 2. For question 3, we have which of these drivers will have the most laps led at the end of stage 2. I will go ahead and go with, Hamlin, I don't think he'll lead a lap. Kurt Busch probably won't lead a lap. Truex has a possibility. Logano has a possibility. Keselowski's been terrible. He ain't going to lead a lap. And you can go with Ty. So I'll go ahead and put Ty now in case none of those guys do it. But I could certainly change. I could see myself changing as we're watching stage 1. If Truex and Logano are kind of up there towards the front, I could see myself changing, but we'll go ahead and say Ty for now. How many laps under caution will there be by the end of stage 2? This one, is just keep your eye on, right? Are we going to get some long runs and hardly any cautions? Or are we going to get this next-gen car tire issues, wheels falling off like a Bubba Wallace, or, tires just blowing and guys getting stuck to the track, what have you. So I don't know. You got, I'll say 8 to 13. I don't know. That one's tough. You're going to really want to watch stage 1. I think based on how Richmond's played out in the past, but how we're seeing this season, definitely got some contrast right there. So, all right, how many lead changes will there be by the end of stage 2? I'll say 6 to 10. I'll go ahead and say 6 to 10. And which of these previous winners at Richmond will have the best finish? You got to pick between Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, and Brad Keselowski. I'm going to trust that the Toyotas can bring a good car to this track like they have done each and every single season. So go ahead and give me Martin Truex Jr. If there's a Toyota again that's going to come and bring it, I think it's going to be Martin Truex Jr. I think he's going to be the best one. So that's how we'll do it. That's how we'll do it on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. And that's, of course, how we'll also do it on the NBC Sports Predictor app. I told you guys I was give you 2 bets. I've already got 6 bets made for this race. I'm going to give you 2 now. If you're interested in the other 4 bets that I've got for this race, I'll give those out on my Friday's daily show here that I do here on my YouTube channel. So just go ahead and check that out at some point before Sunday so you can get those other 4 winners. But the 2 I want to go ahead and give you right now, I'm taking Daniel Suarez over Eric Almirola. Kind of a no-brainer for me. It's minus 105 over Bet MGM. It's basically even money for a guy and a team that's running better. I know Eric Almirola, in the beginning of the season, he rifled off like 3 or maybe 4 in a row top 10s. Hasn't quite maintained that quite yet. So, yeah, give me Daniel Suarez all day long over Eric Almirola. And the other one, give me Briscoe over Harvick. Harvick has continued what has now been going on now, generally speaking, a 2-year slump. He's one of those drivers. It's actually kind of weird because he'll be running kind of back majority of the race, but damn if he doesn't always finish in the top 10. But Briscoe's having a better season. I think he's the better driver on that team so far. Well, Cindric's also got to win, but Briscoe's been really good. So yeah, Briscoe's been better than Cindric. So yeah, I'll take Briscoe over Harvick. I'll go Stewart Haas Racing and see which one of these guys can do better. And that one's minus 10 over at DraftKings is where you can get the best price for that. So Briscoe over Harvick at minus 110 over DraftKings. All right, guys, that's how we're going to do it. William will be back next week. He just had a thing going on this week and couldn't join me, unfortunately. Oh, I meant to do the drawing. Crap. He told me to do the drawing. Let me go ahead and do the drawing. He told me to do the drawing for the giveaway for the Corey LaJoie, and I forgot. Whoever wins will go ahead and hit him up on Twitter. This is going to take me a second. All right, hold on. This is my fault, guys. This was my bad. Hold on. It won't take me that long. This was my fault. I meant to do this. Darn it. Hold on. This is not how I like to do this. This is just my bad. I don't like this, but I forgot to do it, and I'm doing it live, so it's not like I can edit this stream. But give me a second. It's coming. All right, here we go. All right, this is how we do it. We've got, not many people entered this contest. I actually wanted to talk about this. Did not many people enter this contest because it was Corey LaJoie that we gave away? Or did people just not really care about the free giveaway? So it'll be interesting. William said he'll do it again next week. He'll obviously pick a different driver and we'll give away some stuff. So I'm curious. I'm going to actually have him give away more of a big name driver and see if he can't See if that gets more people. I'm kind of curious right there. All right, so this is what we'll do. So Hill's number 1, Kyle's number 2, EZ's 3, XV's 4, Brian Bryce is 5, Alan's 6, Matthew's 7, Connie's 8, and Flava is 9. So how we do giveaways is pretty easy. We just go to the Google, a random number generator. We've got 9 people, so we'll set a max of 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is it, folks. This is all we do is we hit the random number generator. So what's that number? 3? So easy one. Hit William up on Twitter. Obviously, he's the guy that has the memorabilia stuff. I don't have it. So he said hit him up on Twitter. So easy. Go ahead and hit William Blackwell up on Twitter, and he'll get all your information, and he'll go ahead and send you that. As for everybody else, we're going to do another giveaway next week. We would have done one tonight or today. Actually, why don't we do one? We'll do it. He already gave me the okay. Drop a comment on this video. If you want to drop a comment on this video, I have no idea what we're going to give away. We'll give away another driver, just like it's Corey LaJoy, but in terms of which driver, it'd be a surprise. So drop a comment on this video. If you want to go ahead and be entered in that giveaway to go ahead and win some memorabilia, just like Easy went ahead and won, go ahead and drop any comment on this video. Congratulations, Easy. Like I said, go ahead and hit William up on Twitter. All right, that is how we're going to do it. Sorry for that last few minutes there being a little bit of a hot mess. I forgot about that. But, guys, we're in the Richmond Raceway. Again, my home track. I've been to this track a few times. I think it'll be a nice, good, solid race right there, and look forward to seeing who can go ahead and take home that checkered flag. Again, if you want any more NASCAR bets, just check out Friday's daily pick show there on my YouTube channel. Otherwise, guys, come on back next week. We'll go ahead and recap this race, and then we'll go ahead and look forward to the next one. As always, I wish you guys good luck on your picks, and hopefully you guys can win that $20,000. Enjoy it, and we'll see you back here next one. Have a good one, guys.